On this episode of Hudson Valley Hustle, I'm joined by Breezy Santoro, the owner of Breezy Tea. Her and her husband started a hard iced tea company right here in the Hudson Valley. If you ever thought about selling your own product, this is the episode for you. Hope you enjoy. How is it running a business now and having a family? Is that balancing act?
Complicated. But we're figuring it out. We have a great team. My husband's wonderful. He also works a full-time job on top of Breezy Tea and being a parent. But we have a lot of helping hands. My father, who's actually in Sicily right now, so he's not been helping lately. And then my mother-in-law, and then my sister, my cousin. It's a family affair for sure. Yeah, but it does take a lot of help, especially with a 1-year-old, and then going to work and finding the time. But we do find the time. No days off. Every day that I don't work, I'm doing Breezy Tea. Weekends are full of events. Mm-hmm. So we're really just rocking with it.
That's awesome. So do you also work independently from Breezy Tea?
I do.
So you're doing a lot then.
Yes, yeah. I'm still at Tavern 23, which is where I created the drink.
Okay.
I still work there. I do 3 shifts. Okay. I actually just picked up another shift, so now I'm doing like 2 doubles, and then so 3 days total. But you try to pull back a little bit, and then it pulls you back in.
Sure. So what do you do there?
So I bartend there.
Oh, that's awesome. Okay, so you're a bartender.
Yeah.
And you created Breezy Tea
there.
All right, give me the origin story.
Absolutely. Then. So I've worked at Tavern for 9 years now. I love it there. Chris literally, I actually met my husband at Tavern too, on top of everything.
Was he working there, or was he a customer?
No, well, he was actually on a blind date, and then I guess it went terribly wrong, and then he met me at the bar meeting his friends, and then he had known my coworker already, so she kind of set the whole thing up.
Cool. So, all right, so back to Breezy Tea. I was just curious.
Right. So I met my husband at Tavern. Yes. And then I worked a lot back then, always working. Mm-hmm. So if he wanted to hang out with me, if he wanted to see me, he had to come to Tavern. So eventually, being there all the time, he would drink, light beers and vodka sodas, and he was like, I'm getting bored of all the same stuff. Can you make me a cocktail? And I'm like, yeah, sure. He's like, I want a tea. Now this is 5 years ago, before there was just Twisted Tea, there were no teas out there. So I was like, yeah, sure, I think I can do that. Why not? So we played around with, different vodkas, and then teas. I do the tea on the gun, and then lemon and water, even lemonade in the beginning. And then I was like, if this is going to be any good, we really need, it comes from the tea. So let's brew tea. So I started to brew tea every shift I worked, still mixing up, concocting this cocktail for him. Finally, we figured it out. I figured it out, I guess, and he loved it. So it was the one flavor. It was just an original tea, classic black tea. And he'd come in and he'd order it. And then people were like, what are you drinking? That looks so good.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, Breezy's tea. And they're like, we want a Breezy Tea. So then it was like, okay, let's get another flavor, because some people are like, oh, I want a green tea. And I was like, all right, let's brew some green tea. Let's make a different concoction. Let's throw some peach in it. So just throughout time, it naturally, we got 2 awesome cocktails that everybody at the bar was ordering. People loved it, tagged it Breezy Tea. And Chris is like, babe, you have something here. He's always like, one day I walked in and I see all these teas, and he's like, we should probably can this.
Nice.
And I was like, okay, sure. If you think so, let's try it. Just for fun. I mean, so then it was actually during COVID, maybe a little bit before. And, we were living up at the lake house at that time, up on the Sacandaga, just kind of got away from the world. Okay. And we just lived there and, relaxed and got away from the hustle and bustle of everything that was going on. And we were like, let's really think about this. Let's what do we want to do? How do we want to, market this? And just for fun, we were like, oh, our dog was our everything at that point, Zeus. That's the dog that you say. So it was literally, the first picture we had was like him coming out of the water with like a big stick in his mouth. And like we had like Breezy Tea above his head. And it was like something on the internet that Chris was like, oh, they can draw up this little creation or whatever from a picture. And it was like the silliest thing ever. But we loved it.
Sure.
You know, and it was just fun. And then eventually we got more serious about it when we even made a commercial. We created stickers. We got T-shirts. And then we were just thinking about like all the different branding that we can do before we even had the cocktail, you know, like it wasn't canned. We didn't have a strategy for that, but we were like, we make it by hand at Tavern. It's awesome. Let's hand out stickers. Let's get glasses. Let's do a commercial. Let's make an Instagram.
Wow.
So we kind of like did everything like opposite. And then obviously we realized like how much money it would cost. I think we were naive in the beginning.
Yeah.
We thought we could just do it with our salaries put together, and like, no. So then we went out to find investors, which my husband and I did, who they really like took us to the next level. And like his cousin, she does like artwork and I don't even know what she's like marketing, I guess. She came up with, we sent her a picture of Zeus. We were like, we want this picture. So she came up with the drawing. And then she was like, you know, what do we see the can looking like? And I mean, we played around with so many different things. Like, I think this was maybe our third creation, the pattern that you see now. In the beginning, it was like 16-ounce cans and different writing and a different style and different colors and like different, like the fruit just looked more cartoony. And then the fruit looked like, more like realistic. And then we like played around with, so she actually hand drew everything that you see.
Oh, that's awesome.
Hand
that's
painted.
Cool.
So she's fantastic. So I credit her with all the awesome artwork and the colors of Breezy Tea. And she really figured out like what was in my mind and put it, you know, on a can, which was cool.
That's awesome. So it's funny because you started basically this brand before you even had the physical product. I mean, you had the product, right? But it wasn't what it is now.
No.
You actually had like the whole persona before you had the can itself.
Yes.
That's really cool.
And people were like, where can we buy it? Where can we buy it? I'm like, you can't buy it. You can just go to Tavern and I'll make it for you by hand.
But that probably, I'm sure that was a pretty good jumping off point then for you because you had awareness already. You had this image. You had all of this. You had the audience already,
the need. People were like, we want Breezy Tea. We want Breezy Tea. We want, put it in a can, please. We want Breezy Tea.
Yeah.
And then finally we figured it out and we got there. And
that's great.
It was cool. It was cool.
So I guess like, how do you, let's say somebody's in their garage concocting cocktails, right? How does where do you even begin on being able to can something like that and then sell it?
Yeah.
Because I can't even imagine the red tape and the hoops that you have to jump through and the regulation to get this going.
We got a lot of like, no, you can't do that. No, you can't do that.
Sure.
You need this
From who?
license. From like TTB, FDA, even like our licenses. Like we had one license we thought would be it, but no, that's the wrong license. And you actually need this license to do what you want to do, because we don't have a brewer's license technically, because we're not brewing it, right? We're not touching it. It's just my cocktail that finally we met the right. So for 4 years we were, how do we do this? So a lot of road trips. We talked to a lot of brewers. We met with a lot of people. And finally, we met that one person who was like, I'm going to tell you how you're going to do this. And he's like, it's your recipe. You're going to take your recipe and you're going to bring it to a food scientist and they're going to mimic it for you. And then they're going to, you know, here are the blueprints and here's how the ingredients that you need and the amounts that you need. And then you're going to find a manufacturer or a canner. And they're going to batch all your stuff and they're going to test it. And then they're going to send it through the machines and then they're going to can it for you. But wait, like you also need to figure out where you're going to get your cans from. So then it was, and then, you know, what cans do you want? Like I said, like we had 16-ounce cans and then we had the shorties. And then we were like, you know, a slim 12 ounce is like sexy. Like, that's what we want. Like, we want that slim can.
That's the same can as like the High Noons and
right.
all the canned cocktails. Yep.
Yeah. And then like our canner, they're awesome. They said, how about we like put a texture on it? You know, people like to feel.
Didn't we say that? I think we said something about like the cans feel raised. Really good. Yeah.
Right. So you can like, you know, you can hold it in your hand and you can like really, you know, feel the can. Like, that's cool. A lot of cans don't do that. And then it was, you know, that has to be approved. Then it was like, okay, your box artwork has to be approved. Your can artwork has to be approved. There's certain things you have to have. So some of it's FDA and then some of it's TTB. So for us.
What is TTB?
Like the Alcohol Association. So for us, we are an alcoholic brand.
Right.
But because we don't use malt and we don't use vodka, we also fall into like a weird category where we're FDA also. So like, you know, the grocery store, like the food, like, so that's why like nutritional label, and we have to follow 2 rules, not just 1 rule.
Yeah.
So because we're sugar brew. So it's fermented sugar, which also took us forever to figure out what we wanted to do, because for a while we were going around trying people's malt, and I'm like, I just don't like, I don't like malt. Like, you know, I mean, there's a lot of like malt beverages out there, and I think that maybe some people would agree with me that you get an aftertaste in your mouth from it. So I wanted to avoid that.
Okay.
Also, to do vodka would have been a whole nother like avenue.
Regulatory things, right?
Yeah, it would have been even harder, I think, to do, and more money, of course. So then when we met with the right person, he told us, what you want is sugar brew. And we're like, sugar brew sounds so weird. Like, what is that? Never heard of it before. Like, you know, you hear of like fermented apples or, you know.
Sure.
But it's like sugar brew. So then we actually met with somebody, which was funny because we met with him years ago, Devin from Paradox. We met with him years ago, and we were asking him if he could brew our tea. And he was like, yeah, you know, I think maybe I could do it. But then after, you know, going back and forth, he's like, no, I don't think, like, no, I'm not there yet, you know, but I could give you like the alcohol, realizing now that it was like sugar brew, and like he has this whole system where it's just like filtration and like super clean alcohol and tasteless, basically, is the whole point. So we get our alcohol from Devin in Paradox, and then everything goes over to Ninth Planet, where we order all the ingredients from all the different various places. Wow.
Is that the manufacturer? Is that
so Ninth Planet is the manufacturer, and then Devin is where we get our alcohol from. So it's crazy. And there is no book. It was my husband literally phone call after phone call after phone call, like, can you help me? No? Okay, thanks. Like, and then he'd find the right person who could help him. And he's like, here's what you need to do first. And you have to do things first before, like, so you need your recipe first, right? And then you need to like send that out and get that approved. And like the alcohol has to be a certain percentage. And then you have to have like your can approved and your box approved. And then when everything's approved, and you have to time it all correctly, and then you have to line up like your cans and your boxes, because with the day that you're actually manufacturing your tea, it's literally a lot of moving parts.
Yeah.
And thank God we're like super patient people, and he's super smart, so he totally figured it out.
That's wild.
Yeah.
So it really wasn't until you found that person that kind of gave you like the blueprint.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Because who the hell knows how to get
I thought
how to sell alcohol, right? Like,
like, what do you mean? You're a brewery. Can't you just brew a tea? They're like, brew a tea? What do you mean, brew a tea?
Yeah.
I'm like, what? Like, just, I don't know, just like make it. And he's like, no. You need a food scientist, a blueprint, a manufacturer, a batcher, and then you're ready to go. Oh my God. So crazy.
And like, for you to navigate that all on your own to try to figure that out, it would have probably taken you way longer to get it done.
Yeah.
So from like, from the days that you started selling it at the tavern to, you know, first cans in the box, how long of a period of time was that?
4 years, so maybe longer, about 4, I would say. And we were killing it at tavern. Like, I mean, it was the number one like drink. Like it's killing it. It's killing it. And I'm like, we gotta get this to a can. We gotta get this. And then when we finally figured it out, it's like, wow, it's so thrilling. Like it's it's still crazy for me to see this, you know, and I go into a store and I'm like, that's mine. Like,
that's neat.
That's
yeah,
wild.
I want to talk about the stores and where you can get where you can get it and all that. But I just want to know, you had said before, it's Breezy's Tea. Was that like your nickname or something?
Yeah.
Or like
so
what's?
I don't think people even know my real name. So Breezy is my bar name. It's also like my high school name. Everybody called me Breezy. So it's Brianna, but I guess Breezy is like the nickname from it.
Okay.
Which everybody says like suits me because I'm like, you know, oh, it's like a cool breeze, like whatever. And then so I kind of made it my bar name as I got older.
That's cool.
And people love it. And I mean, so they were just like, oh, Breezy's Tea? You mean Breezy's Tea? Like, so, and I mean, great name. And
totally.
It was just so, natural how it happened. So that's cool too.
That's awesome. So it's really all you. Like, it's really your.
Yeah. Me and my husband. Yeah. We're a great team.
Amazing.
We're super excited.
Cool.
We're like everywhere. Like I mean,
so where
wild.
can you buy it now, right? So how do you, because now that's a whole other process, right? Is getting your product now on store shelves, right?
Right. So yes. So with our license that we have, we needed a distributor.
Yeah.
So the distributor picks up our product from Ninth Planet and they bring it to Poughkeepsie. So our distributor is Duchess Beer.
Oh, okay.
And they're wonderful. And they believed in me. And because, they watched me over at Tavern and they're like, all right, when you get into a can, let me know.
Mm-hmm.
Like, think of us. And they're local distributor. And they saw, Breezy Tea. They're like, let us take this on for you. And so they are my distributor and they take it everywhere. So I would say we're most dominant in the Hudson Valley, obviously. And then we have recently headed up towards like Port Ewan, Saugerties, and Kingston area, where like Wappingers, so we're in over 100 locations. We've gone through lots of inventory. And now we're actually back at the drawing board again because it's time to batch again. Like we gotta, make sure that we have product always.
Yeah.
That's number one. Make sure people can buy it.
Yeah, that's wild. So are you able to be, so it's sugar alcohol, right?
Yes.
So are you able to be sold in liquor stores or like beer stores? Like what's the...
Right. So grocery stores, beer stores, gas stations. So we really wanted to be that like product that...
So it's kind of like a malt beverage, right? Type of a thing, right?
Yeah. So we fall into that category, malt, beer.
Yep. Okay.
So it's like you can get us at all your local beer stores. So Thrifty, Oasis, Halftime, Hyde Park, Bev, Beer World. We're in a lot of gas stations. We've made it to a few grocery stores. A huge one for us that we just picked up was Chestnut Mobile across from Marist College, which is incredible. Marist College actually just picked us up too. So now they're selling us at their games, which is wild.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So cool.
Yeah, really cool. We're just, we want to keep expanding, obviously, but I think the idea for now is to just dominate as locally as we can.
Okay.
And then just naturally expand,
Sure.
But for now, like, especially, I want to really like tackle our area and then hopes for expansion in the future, of course.
Yeah, definitely. That's awesome. So does the distributor, is the distributor the one selling for you basically?
Yeah.
Is that how that works?
Yeah, so I go with them sometimes too. I'm always, thinking of if I go somewhere and they don't have me, I'm always, I'll introduce myself, I'll drop off samples. Yeah. A lot of the events that we do, whether it's a fundraiser or a beer festival or a golf tournament or whatever it is, I'm always trying to make connections with people, and like that's how we got into the Beekman Beverage Barn. So that was at one fundraiser. I met him, and he's like, "I love your product. I want your product. Like, I'm gonna carry it in my store," and they're awesome. So it's just really, it's just yes, I love to sell my own product. I do it as often as I can. I'd like to think I'm always selling Breezy Tea. I'm always representing the merch. I've always got samples on me and stickers, and I talk about it nonstop. But I love going with the beer reps and helping them too, because they already have the relationship with their accounts. Sure. And then if you bring me along with you, you know, who's going to sell it better than the owner, you know, herself. So yeah, that's been fun too, because you meet new places, or you meet new people, you go to new places that I never even knew existed, and I'm like, wow, like this place is awesome, like, and now you're carrying Breezy Tea, like, I love you.
That's great. That's gotta be so awesome to walk into a place and see your baby there,
surreal.
Right? Like, it's gotta
surreal.
be so wild.
It is. It really is. It's surreal.
And sales are good. So
sales are great.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. We're doing really, really well. We've only really been out for 3 months, I would say, maybe a little over 3 months, and we've already sold through half of our inventory. And we're back to the drawing board again, because now we need more product.
Right. Yeah. You have to restock and all that. Now, what about new flavors? How does that? So if you wanted to add a new product or a flavor to this, you know, alcohol brand, do you have to go through the whole process again?
Yes. So I do have flavors. So when I started this process, I mean, it's the original tea and the peach green tea. I would say those are my 2 first babies. And then I like played around with other flavors, you know, like I like played around with like a red fox raspberry, and then like a watermelon mint, and then like a mango white tea. And like, so I did all these other flavors, but I would say these were the 2 most requested for.
Okay.
But of course now people are like, when are you going to come out with that one that you used to do? And I'm like, yes, I would love to do that. One, it costs a lot of money per flavor. So that's always great. But then it's right back to the drawing board. It'll be me making the cocktail and then bringing it to my food scientist, and then he'll draw up the blueprints, and then I have to order all those ingredients, and then I plan it could make that flavor. So yes, I would love to make new flavors.
But it's not as easy as just whipping it up.
It is not.
Designing a label.
No.
Here we go. It's in stores.
Now even that. You have to redo the label, redo a can, redo a box. So yes, in the future, for sure, if people keep buying Breezy Tea, you're going to make it a lot easier for me to come out with new flavors for you. And I hope so. I mean, in the future, I hope a variety pack. How cool would that be?
Oh, yeah.
You know, especially for like the summer, you grab it at your gas station or your grocery store, you know, like wherever you're going before you hit the beach or the lake, and you pick up a variety pack of tea and you pop that in your cooler. Like, what's better than that?
Yeah.
So hopes for the future.
Neat. So in addition to you and your husband, do you have who's on your team? So do you have a team?
I do have a team, yeah. So it's my husband and I, and then I have my 3 investors who are very involved in the company.
Local? Are they?
Yes, they are local. And then I have, I recently just got an intern from Marist. Her name's Bree too, actually, which is funny. And she's incredible. She took over our whole Instagram for us, because, I mean, we're just so busy, and Instagram is not really my thing. I would say technology is not my thing. My husband was able to fake it for a while, but he was like, please, somebody help me out.
Yeah.
So we actually met Bree, who goes to Marist, and she does our Instagram for us. She took it off our plate. She's wonderful at it. So yeah, I would say that's my team. Yeah, and then everybody that, you know, helps us at events, set up or break down or watches the baby. So yeah, I mean, it's great.
You've got a lot of hands in it.
Definitely a lot of hands.
Yeah. Yeah, between both of you managing work, the baby, the business, which is the other baby.
Yeah.
That is really, really neat. So like going through this whole process, this whole journey, what's been like a big lesson that you've learned from starting just concocting drinks to now having something at grocery stores? What's a big lesson that somebody can learn from that you can teach, you don't have to somebody else that doesn't have to go through that process themselves? Right.
Yeah. So I would just say, like, if you really want something in life, and if you just work hard, like, and if, do whatever it takes to figure it out, because I mean, if this was up to me, it would have just been like, I'm happy just making it by hand and having a sticker, and like, you know what I mean? And like, if it wasn't for my husband, and then for my family members, and then for my community, and like my bosses and my family and my friends, like the support was just amazing. If it wasn't for them, they're like, Breezy, you've got something here, go for it. Like, why not? Go for it. Go be an entrepreneur. Go figure it out. Go do it. You know, we'll help you, whatever it takes. If it wasn't for everybody really pushing me, I'm grateful for them, because they believed in me, and I was like, all right, let's do it. Let's do it. My husband's like, we're going to make this happen. This is your baby. We're going to make this happen. This is your dream. He's like, I want to see this come to life for you. And he really got it. He figured it out. So just do it, try, at least try, and if you fail, try again. Like, it's okay to fall on your face. Like, it took us 4 years. I mean, it would have been so easy to be like, oh, I'm done.
It's too hard. Too expensive.
Hard, too expensive. I mean, we our savings went into this. Like, you got to believe in yourself. You got to do it, and you got to do what it takes, and, start slow, and then, really, hopefully you take off. Like, I'm still in shock that, like, it's in a can and it's in front of me and I can hold it, and I sell it, and like, people buy it and they take pictures with it, and like, people want me at their events, and like, I'm at those cool like beer festivals, and like, it's like, here, try this, and then they're like, this is so good, oh my God, what's it called? And you're local, like, so I mean, just do it, just try.
Where do you see Breezy Tea in the next 5 years?
5 years. Whew. Well, I hope that I'm everywhere. And by everywhere, I mean, like, it would be awesome to like be at like stadiums, and it would be awesome to be at like, I want to be at like that country concert, and like, be drinking like a Breezy Tea, and I want to be at like the football game and MetLife. I'd love to be at the racetrack or like SPAC. And I want people to enjoy me everywhere, like, enjoy Breezy Tea, take it with you, have it at whatever, you guys do, a tailgate, a lake party, a reunion. Like, I just want to be everywhere. That would be awesome. That'd be great. And then obviously I'd love to do this full time. I would love to be doing this all day long and be the one out there selling it and talking about my tea, and I'd love that. That'd be great.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
So you obviously work a lot.
Yeah.
Right. Obviously.
Yeah.
But do you ever get like tired? I mean, not physically.
Oh, yeah.
Physically, yeah, of course.
All the
Like,
time.
that makes sense. But like, this was something that you started because you just enjoyed making it. But now that it's a business, do you still have that same fire for it? That
Drive.
same, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I mean, it's easy to say like, oh, I'm tired today, babe. Like, I don't want to go. But, you don't. Like, first, I'm a mom, so that's great. But it's tiring, and I only have one, and I couldn't imagine having any more, how people do it and work and have a business. But we're figuring it out, it is hard. I'm still working, and I'm a mom, and I like love to go for runs in the morning. I take my son with me in a little jogger stroller, and but you figure it out, because if you don't hit the ground running now, it's not going to work. So like, you have to put all your effort into it, and you have to do it, and you have to just stay relevant. Like, I just want to be everywhere. I want to always be talking about Breezy Tea, selling Breezy Tea. You got to be everywhere. You got to be relevant, and you got to be in people's faces so that people know you exist. You just got to work hard. So yeah, you're tired. Oh well, it's a business. Like, I sleep a little bit, but I wouldn't change it for the world.
Yeah. Is there caffeine? How much caffeine is in
There is caffeine. It's not,
so
it's a little bit.
Technically,
I didn't drink any this morning. Just coffee, but yeah, there's caffeine in it. There's organic cane sugar. There's real brew tea, which is great. No artificial sweeteners, I think, which is important. So a lot of the stuff out there, artificial sweeteners, and I just don't want to be that. That's not my brand. I want to be as organic and natural and real as possible. And that's what I want to maintain in Breezy Tea.
Great. Yeah. That's
Yeah.
awesome. That's
Yeah,
great.
thanks.
This is, I'm like so happy for you guys.
Thank
It's
you.
amazing. I've
Thank
only
you.
like just met you and I'm like, this is so cool. I love hearing about this.
It's wild. It's wild. Heck
Yeah.
yeah. Breezy Tea, the cooler cocktail. Yeah.
I love it. Yeah. So how do people get in touch with you guys, or where can they find you? Just give a quick little rundown of that.
The easiest way to find us is go up on our website, breezytea.com. We have all these cute little doggy heads that'll pop up in all the locations that you can find us.
Yep.
And then Instagram will keep you updated as well. Whenever we get like new accounts, we post a story or a reel, or any events that we're at. So yeah, Instagram, the website. We try to post everything that we're doing or where we are right to there.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's good. So yeah, drink Breezy Tea.
Drink Breezy
It's
Tea.
good. It's good.
Thank you.
We had it here.
That's right. Drink local, drink
So-
Breezy Tea, support a family-owned business. Heck
That's
yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. Well, good luck to you guys.
Thank
I'm sure you guys
you.
I'm sure you're going to be in that stadium soon. That's awesome.
I hope so. Yeah. Thank you.
Good for you. Thanks for coming.
Thanks for having me. So much fun.